Hello everyone. In this video we're going to download and install Visual Studio Code on Windows, and we're also going to set up the C++ extension for it. Now before you execute anything in this video, please be sure that the MinGW64 C++ compiler has already been installed and configured on your system. That's very important that that's done already before we install Visual Studio Code. If you haven't done that, please go to section 2 and refer to the instructions for installing MinGW64, the C++ compiler on Windows. Okay, so moving forward, I'm assuming that that's done. What we want to do is open up your favorite browser and head over to code.visualstudio.com. You can also search for Visual Studio Code in Google and it'll take you there. You're going to get a page that looks similar to this. And you can see that there's this big blue button right here looking right at us saying download for Windows. So it's already detected that I'm running Windows. And there's also a download button over here that gives you some more options in case you've got a 32-bit version of Windows. So I've got a regular 64-bit version of Windows, which is what most people have. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this button, download for Windows. And that'll start my download. It'll take you to this getting started page. And you can see here that the file is going to be saved when I click Save File. And once that installer is saved, that's what I want to execute. So I'm going to come up here to my browser and grab that download, which is right here. And I'm just going to double click on it to install it. Now, once the install begins right here, I'm just going to get rid of this browser. I don't need it anymore. And I really don't want it to clutter up my screen. So here's the license agreement. You can look through that and accept the agreement and then select next. Select the path you want to install it to. I'm just going to use the defaults. I'll select next, next again, and now it says select additional tasks. The only thing that I set on here is that last checkbox right here, add to the path. If you want to create an icon on your desktop for Visual Studio Code, then select this first option. I'll select next, and then install. The install will progress pretty quickly. This is a fairly small application, and it's a very fast application as well. So once it's finished, what we'll do is we'll launch Visual Studio Code. That's what I'm going to do right now. You can see that that checkbox is checked. And I'm going to select Finish. And that'll bring up Visual Studio Code. And I'm just going to make this full screen. We can just get rid of some of these messages. And this is the screen that you're going to get the first time that you install Visual Studio Code. It's just a getting started screen. And it's kind of small. So I'm just going to enlarge this font. I'm just going to hit Control+ just to make it a little bit nicer on video so you all can see it a little bit better. So this just gives you some information. You want to pick a theme, and I'll just pick this same dark theme. You can look at the different languages that it supports and so forth. So there's a lot of information in here. I'm going to close that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this icon right over here at the left, down at the bottom, Extensions. And I'm going to select that. And what I want to do is I want to install the C++ extension. And you can see it right here. Notice that I have 0 extensions installed because I just installed Visual Studio Code as a fresh install. So in this case, this is the extension that I want to install. It's here under Popular. If that does not show up under here, you can always search for the extension up here. Just type C++ and you'll see it right there. So this is the one we want to select. You'll know it's the one because you've got this circle here with some purple, white, and black, and it says C/C++, Microsoft, and it's got about 20 million downloads at the time of this video. And what we want to do here is just select Install. You'll see down here at the bottom some messages of installation messages. At this point, we're done. We've installed Visual Studio Code and the C++ extension. So what I want to do now is just close this up and go right over here to my Explorer. And we are good to go now. So in the next video, what we'll do is we'll create a folder that will store some of our C++ projects. We'll create a small C++ program and we'll run that. And I'll show you how to configure Visual Studio Code to build and run that project. So I'll see you in the next video.